It was painful seeing people I know and respected using such hateful language about people they disagreed with. All elections are contentious, but this one just seemed to really rock us to our core.
What troubled me most about the last election cycle was the lack of civility and respect, really on both sides of the aisle. There was a major focus on personal attacks and not much focus on the serious issues.
I was really troubled by the amount of fake news that appeared on social media and by the number of people who embraced and shared it.
It was definitely how the candidates kind of lowered themselves and how they bashed on each other and made fun of each other to get more hype from the supporters. And because of that reason, it was hard for me to understand their true ideas and their plans for the country.
Well, I have a lot of friends, and they come from a variety of political positions. And when I'd be meeting with them and discussing politics, we had to shy away from it because some of them were so rigid in their beliefs that I was concerned that we'd get in an argument and could stress the friendship.
The most troubling thing for me was the level of fear around this election, fear and anger, and it just seemed that there was an intolerance from both sides.
The fact that I am an immigrant, I've been here 17 years, and to hear all of the hatred, the divisiveness, and the acceptance of that as a normal, that there is no way that I can be living that again in this country, which is the greatest country. I want to see that everybody takes responsibility of their own actions, be able to listen to each other, be able to put in the place of the other person, and be a living example of what you want to see in your country.
I feel like we need partnership and compromise. And we need to leave the violence, the miscommunication, the false judgment, the criticism, and the hatred behind us. And indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As soon as we regain the meaning of those words, we can truly move on as a nation.
I would like to see us move forward with compassion for each other, compassion and finding common ground for peace.
So I think we all need to work on being a little less judgmental so that we can have a more rational discourse and come up with solutions that work well for everybody.
More civil discourse based in truth and fact and reliable sources.
We really have to be willing to challenge our own thinking sometimes, and also be willing to take responsibility for the impact that our words and our actions have on other people.
I would hope that we can start to see each other not as black, not as white, not as Republican, not as Democrat, not as gay, not as straight, but as Americans, united.
We can do better. We have to do better. Join us at seeingpurple.org.
I see purple.
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 I see purple.